Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with, what do you call cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese. That's right, I'm going to show you how to make your own homemade nacho cheese sauce, a million times better tasting than that junk you buy at the store, and here is how you do it. So over medium heat in a saucepan, we're going to melt some butter, we're going to add some flour because we're making a roux. You're just going to simply cook the flour in the butter, stirring pretty much constantly for about 3 or 4 minutes until we take that raw edge off the flour and it smells like cooked pie crust. By the way, if the roux is on fire, your heat was too high. So when your roux is ready, you're going to go ahead and drizzle in 3 cups of cold milk, slowly at first. But don't get too nervous, because as you well know, cold milk, hot roux equals no lumps. So drizzle in the first cup kind of slowly, and when the first half or so is in, you can just dump the rest in. And we're just going to simmer this, stirring occasionally for about 5 minutes. Now, there's not a ton of roux in this, okay? So don't expect a really thick, gloppy sauce. All right, this is going to stay pretty thin, all right? So don't be nervous. And then during this 5-minute simmering time, we can go ahead and spice this up. So I'm going to go with some chipotle powder, some ancho chili powder, some paprika, and cayenne. That's right, 4 different kinds of pepper. By the way, I was trying to get this really sexy close-up shot of the spices, and of course, the steam from my simmering white sauce screwed it up and made it all blurry. Are you as annoyed as I am at that? Probably not. All right, I'm also going to stir in some salt, and that white sauce is pretty much ready. So at this point, we're going to add our grated cheese, and it is critical that you reduce the heat to low. All right, if you boil or simmer the sauce while the cheese is in it, it will get grainy, it will get greasy, it will get gross, and nobody wants that. So turn your heat down to the lowest setting, and I'm going to add half my cheese. I'm using a combination of white cheddar, Munster, and Monterey Jack. And when that's all melted in, which is only going to take a couple minutes, I'll go ahead and add the second half of the cheese. And when that's stirred in, our nacho cheese sauce is done. And you can kind of see here, as the cheese is just about all melted, that really this is not a super thick sauce. This is supposed to be like melted cheese being poured onto your chips, not a thick cream sauce that's flavored with cheese, okay? This is supposed to simulate like pure melted cheese on your chips. So that's what we're going for, and that's why we don't want a super, super thick white sauce to start with. All right, once all our cheese is in, we're down to the final step, which is, of course, tasting and adjusting. Do not make a rookie mistake and taste on your finger. Dip a chip in. Why? Because the chips you're going to serve this with are probably seasoned somehow, so you're going to want to taste it with the chips so you don't oversalt the dip. So at this point, I decided mine was seasoned perfectly, except for, that's right, a little more cayenne. And there you go. Because I used white cheddar, my cheese sauce is this sort of pale orange color, which I like. If you want that day glow gold color, use the orange cheddar. No problem. It's not artificial, by the way. All right, I explained that in the blog post. And that's it. Our nacho cheese sauce is done. You can bring that to the table. I garnish with a little bit of cayenne and my patented 3 pickled jalapeno ring garnish. All right, throw some chips next to it. If you want to keep it on a warming plate, of course, that's fine. This holds beautifully. Or, of course, you can serve these as individual nachos ladled over chips. And the only reason I'm showing you this is, that's right, so you have to watch nacho cheese sauce flowing over chips. I'm sorry, but you know you wanted to see it. I'm going to finish with some pickled jalapeno rings. Of course, those are homemade. All right, I'll show you that video next. And there you go. So delicious, perfect texture, just a really intense cheesy flavor, beautiful spice from the chilies. Just a great version, in my opinion. Of course, it's more expensive and harder to make at home. But that's okay, it's the Super Bowl. You're supposed to put out a little more effort. Do you think Tim Tebow's going to be watching the game Sunday eating store-bought nacho cheese sauce? Hell no. He's going to make it at home. In fact, he'll probably hear about me mentioning him and use this recipe. Anyway, I hope you give that a try. Head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more information, as usual. And as always, enjoy.